Hey everybody, we're just testing audio, making sure everybody can hear us. Awesome. And yeah, you can email me here. It's chuckv@vocesdigital.com, or you can email Chris, and we'll get that free trial extended for you. All right, we're going to get started in just a few more minutes. Just setting up one or two more things still yet, and then we'll be good to go. Also, just so you know, there's a slight delay in the video, so if you type in the chat and I don't respond right away, it's just because there's a delay going on. I will get to all your questions as quickly as I can, I promise. All right, it's 3 o'clock. I say we go ahead and get started. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Summer 2018 Voces updates. Now, I'm currently logged in Spanish Novice, but these changes are universal across all of the different titles that we have, so it shouldn't matter which title we're actually plugged into. And this is going to be very informal, so if you have any questions at all, go ahead and toss them into the chat, and I will get to them as quickly as I can. The first thing that we're going to go over today is the all-new assignment tool. It's still in the same place as it was last year, and it still looks the same on the outside. It still says assign this page when you hover over it. But when I click on it, we now open up to a calendar view, and the calendar view gives us a wonderful one-month overview of everything that we've assigned to all of our different classes. And all of our classes are now color-coded, and it does that automatically for you. Every time you add a new class, it's going to assign it a color for you, and that's going to help you just find it in the calendar. I'm going to go ahead and create a new assignment. You can now assign the current page that you're on, or you can assign a different page. I always found it easier to just assign the page that I'm currently on. You can, whoops, let's go back. I didn't realize it was going to do that so fast. Our next step is to set a deadline. You can tell it no deadline if it doesn't matter when it's due. You can give it a specific deadline. I'm going to tell him that it's due Friday by the end of the day. And I can choose if that deadline is going to be a hard or soft deadline, just like before. But the new thing I have is the date range. If I set a date range, it's not going to show up in their assignment list until the start date. This gives you the chance to pre-plan your curriculum well in advance, because you can tell it when you want this assignment to appear in their schedule and when the due date is. I'm going to go ahead with just a specific date, due Friday. I'll say a soft deadline. Let's use this selected date. Our next step, we have to select our options. We have a few new ones. The ones you're familiar with, we have our submission limit, limits the number of times they're allowed to click the submission button. We still have prevent leaving. If you click on this, that means that a student is not going to be able to change tabs once they start working on a document, or once they start working on an activity. They can't change tabs. They can't switch over to a different program. This is how we prevent them from going over to Google Translate. Our new one that we have is our timer. You can now set a timer that'll begin once they start the activity. And you set how many minutes you want that timer to go for. It'll start counting down. Once they go to the activity, they'll see a timer up along the top, which I'm actually going to turn on so you can see how that looks. That timer is going to count down. It refreshes every 5 seconds until it gets down to the last, I think it's like the last minute or so, and then it'll start counting down every second. And then finally we have require perfection. And this is something that you would do if it's something for practice and you want them to try and try again until they get it right. Because for an auto-graded activity, it'll tell you that you got it right or wrong, but it doesn't actually tell you what the right answer is. It just says this is wrong, and you have to go back and try again. If you do this, this means that it's not going to count it until it's absolutely perfect. If you set requires 100%, but you only give them one attempt to get it done, that's just really mean, so don't do that. Alright, so I'm going to say I get 2 chances, I get 5 minutes to finish it. Now I get to choose what class this is for. I can select the entire class just by clicking on it, right where it says full class. Or I can select very specific students within a class. So Spanish 1, I want the whole class. At the 9:45, I only need these 3 people to do it. And now that I'm finished, I click Finish. I can leave a note if I want. Let's just say, good luck. And now I create my assignment. There's my assignment right there. It showed up on the due date. Activity 1. I can click on this and edit it if I need to change something. And you do that just by clicking on Edit Assignment. Just in case I have to change something like change a due date, change a submission limit, anything you might need to change. More importantly, I can also change it for just a specific student. So if I have one student that was maybe sick for a couple of days, I can edit just that student and maybe change the due date to a week later because they were really sick and apply. And now that student has an extended due date. And don't forget to save your progress, because I always forget to click save, so make sure you click save. And it'll always give you a nice quick summary of that assignment right here on the side. Do we have any questions so far? I'm going to close out of that. I'm going to bring over our student. Here I'm logged in as a student. Can this calendar be embedded into an LMS? I am not sure what that means. I might have to have Chris answer that one. Yes, it does. It'll always show up on the teacher version. It's going to look different on the student version. All right, so here I'm logged in as a student. I have my 3 assignments that are due. I'm going to go ahead and click this. This is what it looks like as a student. I see my assignments. Here's today's highlighted, and here are my 3 assignments that I had. This is the one that we just created just now. And if I click on it, it gives me my quick overview. And then I can click Go to Assignment, and it'll take me right there. And this is one that I had with a timer set. So let's see what happens. Let's click Start. And as soon as I click Start, you'll see that my timer here starts counting down on me. Oh, how good is my Spanish? Probably not very. Oh. Let's see. That's a J. X. C. L. Q. What is? Oh, Q. Z. E. Hey, I'm actually about better at this than I thought. H. And N. All right. I did that in record time. I still have plenty of time to go. All right, I'm going to click Submit. I scored an 8 out of 9. Oh, I missed one. But I still have 1 submission left, and I still have time, I think. Oh, okay, so it's going to start the timer over every time I go back to it if I have multiple submissions. Which one did I miss? Thought for sure I had that one right. Oh. Thanks, Susan. Okay. Let's bring the teacher one back in. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I think there's something wrong with that key. All right. Everything here is still going to be the same that we remember. Requires grading is still the same. Our activity and results is still the same as it was before, so I can go to my activities and change something if I need to. The grade books had a little bit of an update though. Because I now have the ability to show only work that was assigned as opposed to absolutely everything. So when I generate my report, it only shows those assignments that were assigned. Yes, a teacher absolutely has the ability to do that. I actually thought about doing that for myself. There's the one that I just did. I got 8 out of 9. I swear I got that right though. So the teacher logs in, takes a look at it. It looks right, so I can actually click on it to change it and give them a point. And then click save. Now I have a 9 out of 9. I'm going to come back to my grade book. Show only my assigned work. Nine out of 9, 9 points. That is true. If you find an error, you find a glitch somewhere, if you email us or give us a call and let us know, we can change it and probably fix it on the spot. The other change, and this is minor, but I know it's helpful. If it was assigned and a student does not do it, it used to just be blank. So when you removed all the blank entries, there would just be nothing there. Now it's actually a 0. So they will, it's included in their tally, and you'll see that they have received a 0 for that assignment because it was assigned and they didn't do it. How would you recommend using this program if your classroom is not equipped with computers and tablets and etc.? I have a lot of teachers who are using this right now. They project it up on an overhead projector. Assignments like these that you can do together in class, you would work on together, and then any page in here can be printed by clicking this button right here that says Print Page. And it looks like that. Now obviously if you don't have students logging in, then there are a couple of things that you're not going to have access to or just aren't going to be relevant to you, and that's going to be things like obviously the grading system. It's not going to be able to keep track of their grades obviously, and the recording. We have several activities and things where you can record, or students can record their voices and you can actually hear them. So obviously those aren't going to work, but everything else does. Speaking of which, I want to get to... Let's see. Our recording activities, and this is another small thing, but our recording activities now, when you hit record, give you that nifty little record in progress. And then when you play to play it back. Oh, it's not going to work because because I'm using this same computer for everything else. But that's what that looks like. Did we have any questions at all regarding the assignment tool? Most Chromebooks usually have microphones built into them. If it does not have a microphone built in, then you'd probably have to get a headset, like a USB headset or a USB microphone. But I'm pretty sure most of them have microphones already built in. Same with iPads and things like that. Yeah, the recording does play nice with an iPad, and it also plays nice with a cell phone, iPhones, Android. Just about any device that has a microphone. All right, well, if we don't have any more questions about the assignment tool, I am going to move on to the next new thing, which has been glowing at us for a while now, and that's the Game Center. Alright, so this is the Voces Game Center. We have some new games. It used to just be the one game, Roundup, and then I think we also had a match game that was kind of buried in there somewhere. Now it's all together in one game center. We have some new games, and as we go forward, as we develop new games, they'll all be located here. Our first game is Voces Match. And a lot of them, the basics are going to be the same, but let's take a look at Voces Match. I actually want to look at this as a student. Where's my... Alright, so I'm logged in as a student, and I want to play Voces Match. Single player game. It's always going to be the current chapter or the previous chapters. I think I can actually do it with audio. I'm going to try it. We select our level of difficulty, and then we start a game. S. And then I match with S. Oh no, now I'm stuck. Yes, all right, I remembered. SK. To go. Soy and...
Buenos días.
Buenos días. Good morning. And there's a bonus question at the end. I have no idea what the right answer would be, though. Does anybody know what the right answer might be? 2 Caribbean countries share the same island but speak different languages. It's okay to Google search it. I might have to Google search it too. I'm not sure. Oh, awesome. Oops. Let's find out. Submit. Yeah, it sure is. Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Look at that. I think that might actually be that might actually be the best I've ever done in this game. All right, let's go back to the menu. I can check out the leaderboards to see how well I'm doing against everybody else. I'm currently logged in as Larry, and look at that, 9 clicks. That actually was my high score. I can see my score against other people in the class. I can see my score in a global leaderboard against all the other students who are currently playing. And as you can see, Chris is currently holding the record. I'm hoping people will beat him soon. This is a great opportunity for students to become competitive in a learning game because they get to see how well that they are doing compared to everybody else around them. I know a lot of kids, the video games that they play nowadays, leaderboards are always a big thing. You absolutely can. Let me show you. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Let's come back here. 2-player game. The same options, except now I get to have a second player with me. And that second player gets to log in with their username and password. Which means they're going to get credit for the game, and their scores will actually be in their login. So as the teacher, when you log in and you're looking over everybody and seeing how well they did, you'll be able to see both of their scores. As a student, when I log in, I can see how well I did. I played single player. This is how long it took me to do this. This is the date that I completed it in. And it included questions from Chapter 1. Let me refresh this real quick so it's got all of my answers here. As a teacher, when I go into my results, I can view results from the past 10 days, or I can look at my results by class. Here's the one that we just did. Name, player type, number of attempts, how long it took, when I did it. And you'll see some of my previous attempts where I really had a hard time. But it shows all the mistakes that were made, how well I did, how long it took me to do it. Back to my menu. And as a teacher, you can create your own matching sets. Create a new set. You'd give this a name. And then you would enter your text. Or you can enter audio, or you can find pictures and use pictures instead. However you want to set it up. Let's go back to my main menu. So that's Voces match. If you ever need, when you go into the game, you can always click on instructions. And instructions will give you everything you need, including how to create your own game. here. Our next game is the Flashcard Challenge. You're either going for speed or you're going for perfection. I'm going to go for speed. I'm probably going to regret that. Start game. Yes. I don't remember. How are you? Am I supposed to add that together? Oh, good. I did get that one right. Until tomorrow. Hasta mañana. ¿Cómo te llamas? What is your name? Sí. Goodbye. Adios. Ciro. I know that one. And then there's the money. Oh, it was. Oh no, it went away.
S.
S. S. L. Buenas noches. Good evening. X. Oh, okay. I managed to get 15 questions correctly. It took me a minute. Let's see how well I did. Let's look at the leaderboard. Wow, not even close. I've got a lot of practice to do before I get as good as these people. The Flashcard Challenge also has a 2-player version. You get to choose how many cards are going to be in the round, and the other player gets to set this in. And my 2-player will be M. There we go. Now our players get to buzz in the, well, you know what, let's see if I can do this. Start a game. I know it. I got one right. Next. I know it. And he's going to click. Oh, I missed it. Oh, he's going to jump in there and get it. You can see now how students can go head to head in a battle for the right answer. Yes, we're on the same device. This is all on the same machine. All of the 2-player games are designed to be shared on the same machine. So that's the Flashcard Challenge. Just like before, we can go to our leaderboard, we can view results. As the teacher, I can log in and see results from the past several days by student or by class. I can create my own flashcard sets, as many cards as you'd like. Yep, we set a different key for buzzing in. I set my key as the Z key, and Chris set his as the M key, and we just went back and forth. Whoever hit the button first got to answer. Roundup still works the same way as it did before.
21. 21.
Oh, I couldn't hear him very well. Oh, well. Voces Roundup still works the same way as it did before. The PLV nets, the traps. You still can view the top collectors. It's just had a little bit of an outside update so that it matches everything else. And finally is the Voces Story Shuffle. Oh, let me do this as a student. Okay, I am logged in as a student. Let's do a single player game for now. I'll do the current chapter, and what it's going to do is it's going to give me a number of prompts. We'll do 5 prompts. We'll do no audio. And we'll tell it start game. It gives me a prompt, and my job is to make a sentence, maybe 2 sentences, that use this word in my prompt, or in my story. Go ahead, somebody give me a sentence. Anybody have a sentence that can use this word? I'm going to have to go to Google Translate if I can't find anything. Let's see. Spanish 2. Yeah, it is a little harder with letters, isn't it? All right, let's try that. Next prompt. Let's see. There we go. And the next. I'm going to get all letters, aren't I? Ooh, okay. Here's a good one. And how about a sentence with this? Let's do... Oops. That's true. Estoy bien is a sentence all by itself, but we want to be able to turn this into a story of some kind. And then this is our last word. All right, let's just do that and finish writing. And then we will give this a story of some kind. And save it. There it is. Our story has been saved. As a student, we can come into our story library and we can choose stories that we haven't read yet, stories that are just from my class. But before a story is available in the library, you as a teacher get to go through it and make sure that it's okay and approve it. Oops. Let's go back to the menu here. All right. We have 2 stories that were submitted. They're not available for students to review until you've had a chance to look them over and approve them. If you look it over and you think, okay, this is going to be okay, we can click and it becomes approved. And this is the one that we just did together, and yeah, that's okay too. Approved. Now we can go back to the menu. All right, so here I am logged in as a student. I can search my library now. Oh, actually, I probably need to refresh it. And there's a story that I have not read yet. If I click on it, there's my story. This is a story that was submitted by somebody else. It's not showing me mine because I've read mine. And after reading their story, I can decide, is this an awesome story? Do I love this story? And if I absolutely love it, I can click on it, give it a thumbs up to let them know that was a great story. This also marks it to let me know I've read it. All right, back to my menu. The way that it keeps track of stories in your leaderboard as far as which stories are the best, are the ones that get the most thumbs up, tend to come towards the top of the list. Most like this month right here. Or the number of stories that we've written in total. There's me. I've written 1 story so far. Here's somebody else who's managed to write 2 stories so far. Now, unfortunately, no, games right now can't be assigned. Yes, right now the leaderboard is determined by the number of stories that they create. As far as correctness, content, things like that, those things are all determined here. Oops. That's you here as the teacher. You may look at a story and say, okay, this story has got so many mistakes. I just can't approve this story. You're going to have to write another one, or you're going to have to go back again. And it just doesn't become approved. So I guess I could say the leaderboard is the total number of approved stories is what makes it to the top. Like everything else, you can always create your own too. You can create your own story prompts. Right now, I don't think there's a way that you can edit a student's story. But that's an interesting idea. I kind of like that. I'll look into that. I'm sure Chris will look into that too. I like that idea. That's very clever. All right, so that is the Voces Game Center. Right now the chat is just sort of lighting up, but do we have any other questions at all regarding this? Also, anybody who's jumping in a little bit late, if you have a free trial with us right now and you'd like to get that extended until the end of August, be sure to shoot me an email or shoot Chris an email. Let us know that you were here, say hi, and we will absolutely get those trials extended for you. Yes, they are, or I should say, yes, they can be. Let's go ahead and assign something different. Let's come over here. The question is, going back to the assignments real quick, can we schedule assignments ahead of time, and are they hidden from the students? The answer is yes, they can be. Let's go here. Let's assign this, create a new assignment, the current page. Oh, let's go, all right. Let me go to a page that I know hasn't been assignment. Activity 12, there we go. Let's assign this page to a specific date range. I do not want this to show up until the 23rd, and then it is due on the 25th. All right. Apply. I see this option right here is show assignment before it is available. As long as I have that checked off, then they shouldn't be able to see it. Oh, hey, this is a recording activity. I almost forgot about this. If it's a recording activity, we have a couple of different options that we can apply, such as single record, which only gives them an opportunity to do it once, and automatic recording. Specifically, if it's for a listening and speaking exercise, the audio is going to play, and then it's going to start recording, and the students won't have control over that. Let's finish with that. Let's assign this to my class and finish. Create this assignment. There it is for me on my calendar as the teacher. If I come here to my student, if I can find my, what do I do with my student? There we go. If I come over here to my student and refresh, go to my assignments, it is not here. And it's not going to show up until the actual date arrives, and then it will appear. It gives you a great opportunity to really plan ahead of time. You can plan pretty far in advance now. Did we have any other questions at all? Was there anything else that you wanted to see while we're here? I'm glad you're excited about it. Oh, as far as the live broadcast, this is going to be the last one for this, but you can always schedule a walkthrough. If you just go to our website at vocesdigital.com, scroll down just a little bit, and you'll see schedule a walkthrough. Just click on that, and obviously this is for everybody. We'd be happy to give you sort of a more of a one-on-one personal touch. We'll go through whatever you need, and yeah, I'd be happy to give you a walkthrough. Enable disable is in the list view. That's why I couldn't find it. Switch to list view. Oh, disable assignment. Now we switch over to our calendar view. Let's disable a couple of them. That's a nice way to clean up our calendar if we don't want it there. We can switch over to the list view and just disable them until we're ready for them and then enable. And come back over to our calendar view, and there they are again. That is a cool trick. I like that. Definitely would come in handy if you have a lot of classes and a lot of assignments all over the place. Just switch over to the list view, turn a couple of them off if you don't need to see them in your calendar. And then when you're ready, just turn them on. That is true. YouTube is supposed to save all of the videos that we record, so the 9 a.m. video is supposed to still be there, and I logged in a few minutes ago and all of a sudden I couldn't find it. So I'm hoping that's just a glitch and it is still there and I'll be able to go back to it. So that way you'll have two different walkthroughs that you can go back to if you ever need. Or of course you can always schedule with us and we can give you a walkthrough in person. I do not believe that I have a way right now to look at a calendar just for one specific class. No, unfortunately not right now. There isn't a way to view the calendar just for one class. It's going to show assignments for all classes. Uh, they are color coded to try to make it a lot easier. I've got a couple of them stacked. I don't know how often you'll ever have due dates on the exact same day for multiple assignments, but the color coding makes it a lot easier to keep track of what's going on where. Can students print a calendar? Well, here I am as my student. I can switch to a list view also as a student. Oh, that did not work. Oh, yeah, I can show you that. All right, Chris says he's going to get a print button in there. So, no, there isn't a way to print yet, but give us a minute. All right, last thing I want to show you, and this is specifically for everybody who has multiple titles, because you used to have to log out, switch titles by logging back in. Now, if you click on the little logout button, you will actually see all of your titles, and you can easily switch from one book to the next just by putting your mouse over it and clicking on it, and it'll take you... Oops. Hold on a second. That was embarrassing. Let's try that again. From one book to the next book. There it goes. To the next book. Back to Spanish Novice. So just a quicker, easier way to switch between titles. All right, do we have any other questions? All right, well, I think that's going to be it for today. I really appreciate everybody who came by today. Don't forget, you can always go to our website. You can click on schedule a walkthrough, and we'd be happy to go over all of this together with you. We have screen sharing where we can kind of lead you through it like a virtual guided tour, and we're talking on the phone so you can ask questions and get a much more detailed overview that way.
Is anyone there? Hello?
And teachers. Other Voces is meant to be a standalone and everything a teacher needs without a lot of outside legwork. Yes, I can tell you that, yes. Voces is designed as a complete and full curriculum. Every title is designed as a full year, or in the case of Spanish Novice and Spanish Intermediate, 2 years worth of complete content. It is a full curriculum. Now, that's not to say we don't have teachers who are also using it right now as a supplement to an existing curriculum. We do have that as well, just because there's a lot of great content here, but it is designed to be its own standalone curriculum. All right. Well, that's about all the time I've got for today. So, thanks so much for joining. Make sure to email me if you've got a free trial and you want that free trial extended until the end of August. If you have any other questions, be sure to email us. or set up a walkthrough, and we'd be glad to show you a couple more things. All right. So, thanks so much, everybody. Everybody take care.